Hello everyone, and welcome to So Many Games, So Little Time. Today I'm reviewing Iquazu. Now, before I continue, first of all, yes, I know I look tired. That's what 2 daughters will do to you. And I guess that's also why my handle is So Many Games, So Little Time. I don't even have time to sleep. Anyway, Iquazu. Am I pronouncing it correctly? I don't know. I've been practicing, but I'm not really confident. So this is how you're supposed to say it.
Iquazu.
Am I close? I don't know. Anyway, back to the game. Iquazu is created by Michael Feldkutter. He's a designer, and it's released by Haba Games. Now, my family is a pretty big fan of Haba Games, so maybe that's one of the reasons why I got this. But why did I get this? The reason why I got this game is, well, long story short, I made a top 100 of games that I wanted. I'll make a video about that later. And then it was my birthday month. And I gave the list to my wife and some of my friends, and I said, you know, you can buy it from here if you want to. But then I realized, oh, wait a minute. Now I can't buy any games for myself. I buy games for myself for my birthday. I know, it's a tradition. So I was like, what am I gonna do? So I started researching a bunch of new games that I've never seen before, whatever, and stumbled upon this game. I have to thank the Dice Tower for that, actually, because they were saying how underrated this game was. So I checked it out, and they're correct. But before I start talking about my review or anything else, let's first see how you play the game, and then I'll give my thoughts afterwards. So, in Iquazu, there are 2 actions that you can do, okay? The first action is you take 4 cards, alright? And then that's it, your action is over. So, second action is more interesting. You have this gem box, okay? In the gem box, you have all the colors there are in the game. So, when it's your turn, you take this gem box, and then you can decide to either draw cards or you draw one of your own gems to place it. So let's say I'm yellow and I want to place something, okay? I'll look at the top row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and these are the amount of cards it costs to put a gem in these rows. But that's not the only cost. You also have to look at the colors. For example, you have orange, so orange card. You have blue cards. And you also have white. There's one white in here. There you go. You also have white for these ones. Okay. So let's say I'm yellow and I want to place an orange here. This would cost me 4 cards. So I will pay 4 orange cards. There you go. 4. And place them in the discard. It's as simple as that. Then turn, we go over to the next person. Let's say that's green. Okay, now let's say green also has the drop box, the water drop box. Okay, this is a mechanic to speed the game along. Now let's say green says they want to put a blue gem here, and that costs them 1 card, right? So green puts it there, and it gets rid of its blue card. And then, because they have the drop box, they have to take 1 water drop and put it on the top leftmost spot. So as you can see, every time it's green's turn, they will be placing a drop. So let's say now it's red's turn, they place a white one, and they pay 1 white card. And then it's purple's turn, and purple decides to put something here for orange for 5 cards, but they don't have 5 orange cards. Instead, they have 4 orange cards and 2 blue. Luckily for them, there's a rule that if you have 2 cards with the same color, they can be a wild 1 card for any other color. So 4 orange and 2 blue, they turn into 1 orange. That's 5 orange. We can place it. Okay, now it's back to yellow. So let's say I put something here, and then back to green, which I explain later. They have the water drops. So let's say green puts one here, and a new water drop is added here. Okay, now let's fast forward a little bit, and let's see what happens when this first row scores. Okay, so let's say this is the situation. Green has just placed their gem, and normally is then supposed to place their water drop, but they do not because it's already full. So this will score. So how do we score this? We look at the majority, which in this case there's a tie. You have 2 reds and 2 greens. But in ties, the lowest one means it's a tiebreaker. So green will get 5 points, red will get 3, and purple will get 1 point. But, and that's what I like about this game a lot, is you don't only score this row, you don't only score vertically, you also score horizontally. So in this case, purple will get this bonus tile, and this bonus tile will allow purple to get 3 cards at a later round whenever they want. So they will keep this. Then green has majority here. They will get this wild token. This token means that you can place a card, place a gem at any place, and you don't have to look at the color. All you have to do is pay the amount of cards. So for example, you could put something here on white for 5 cards. I just pay 5 random cards of any color or mix of colors, doesn't matter. And then here yellow has majority, so they would get the 3 card token. Green has majority, they would get 2 points, but they would flip it over and keep it secret until the end of the game, alright, to add some tension. And then yellow would win here as well. They would also get the 4 points and keep it secret for later in the game. Now, let's do a little, let's make it a little bit different to explain another rule. Let's say it's like this. Okay, now in this case, green and red are tied, but once again green is lower, so green wins the tie and gets the 2 points. Okay, let's say this round is over. Alright, first of all, this drop box, you look at the arrow, right, it'll go to the left to the next person. Okay, well actually the other way around, sorry, yeah, it goes to the right, I'm looking it upside down. So it'll go to the next person, and then they will be placing drops until the next row scores. Okay, so what do? We remove the end of the waterfall, we move it to the front, and we push the waterfall onto the next spot. Okay, there we go. You can see these have already been revealed, but normally they're face down. Okay, I just forgot to turn them around in this example. So these become available, and then you continue again. Once this scores, you score everything again, and then you continue again up. These will be revealed. Okay, and then of course you put these back in the beginning, so you maintain the beautiful waterfall, and you keep going, you keep going, you keep going, you keep scoring every row until you reach this row. So let's go a bit faster, all the way till the end, until you score this row. A second here, until you score this row, and when you score this row, you will also score these and these, and then everything else. And these last rounds, the dark ones, these are all points, as you can see. All right, all points. So there's a lot of points to win as well, and of course you don't know these in advance. You'll only know them when you reach the last round. And that is basically what Iquazu is. Actually, I forgot to explain one bonus tile, and this is this one. If you have this bonus tile, it means you have an extra turn. So these are very, very valuable. You can do 2 turns in 1 turn, basically. Also, you have here the board. These are scores for 4 players. Now, you can easily flip it over and it becomes a scoreboard for 3 players. You also have a scoreboard for 2 players. So it scales very nicely, actually. I think that's it when it comes down to all the rules of Iguazu. You, of course, can never have more than 12 cards. That's already been mentioned. At the end of the game, you just add up the scores, and that's the game, basically. So, there you have it. That's how you play Iguazu. Now, what did I think of the game? Now, I don't have any categories. I'm not going to talk about this and this and this and this and this and this. I'm just going to talk about what comes into my mind. And I think that's more natural because that also shows what I'm most passionate about instead of the categories. So, first thing that I thought of is nerve-wracking, but in a good way. We played with 3 players, our first game. And honestly, I was constantly a little bit anxious, a little bit nervous, and of course that increased near the end of the game because placing a gem is so important. Where to place it? Do you go for the quick points? Are you going to go for the bonuses? What do you do? What is your strategy? What are the other people doing? And it's constantly anticipating. And it just clicked. I really, really, really loved that feeling. It's the good kind of nerves, you know? And yeah, and then the final scoring, just hoping that you've won, of course. It's a really good mix. Second thing is it's so beautiful. I mean, it's really nice. The way the waterfall moves, the gem box, the water drops, the way you move them from player to player. The cards are okay. But just the waterfall, you know, the way it goes from left to right, you change the pieces, the way the gems look, and at the end you can remove the waterfall completely and you see all the gems and the drops. It works. It's really nice presentation. So, what else can I say? Number 3 is just the mechanics, the rules. You basically only have 3 rules, and that's it. Okay, and some nuances here and there. But we didn't have to take the rule book to check up on a rule or whatever, or maybe once. In the beginning, but that's it. It's really straightforward, and even though it's a limited amount of rules, there's still a lot of strategy and also a lot of replayability. That's maybe number 4, right? A lot of replayability because you can change all the tiles around for when a different game. They're double-sided, the tiles where you place the gems, they're double-sided. Where the bonuses are will always change because you mix them up in the beginning and then you place them. That will always change as well. And I think just those 2 already, you know, give you so much replayability. We play with 3 players. I haven't played with 4 or with 2, but I imagine they will work perfectly fine as well. I think 3 or 4 would be the sweet spot too, though, because with 2 it's just playing off each other, kind of. What else do I really like about this game? Actually, I think that's mostly about it, but that's already really good. But what do I not like about this game? What I don't like is possibly the theme. There's no theme. The idea of the game is that you're tribes and there's invaders, and that's why I didn't spend much time on the theme in this review, because it's non-existent. Anyway, your tribes, you're all different tribes, and there are invaders, and you're trying to hide the gems in the waterfalls. But then, why don't you just work together? Why is there this race of trying to hide your gems? It's a bit weak, but honestly, I don't care. You know, I mean, I like my games to be more thematic, sure, but in this case, it doesn't really bother me. It's just something that I feel I should point out to people. I've read online many people find the setup kind of a chore, but honestly, you do it once and then the second time it goes faster, and you know, first time is a bit slow, but afterwards, once you get the hang of it, it's not really that big of a deal. I feel there's a lot of other games that, you know, take a lot longer to set up, so to me that's not a problem. And we're already at the end. That's it. I mean, more I really don't have to say about this game. I really like it. I've played it a couple of times so far, and I imagine it will stay hitting the table for a long time in the future. It will stay in my collection for sure. And it's a game that I will easily and gladly introduce to non-gamers as well. Because I think they will get it fairly quickly how to play. And yeah, strategic values wise, that's also top notch. So I think it's a good gateway as well. And even for more experienced hardcore gamers, this would work as well. Maybe a little bit more as a filler type. There's strategy, but it's not super duper deep. But I think this one really caters to a lot of different type of gamers. Another thing that I like, actually, quickly at the end, is the fact that you pass the gems around. So I don't know why. I think it's neat. Although in times of COVID, when you're playing with people at a meetup or something, people you don't know, then of course it's not suggested. I would avoid it, to be honest. Then maybe you can just give everybody their gems or whatever, something like that. I don't know. But yeah, COVID-wise, it's not a good mechanic. But that's temporary, I hope. I guess time will tell. Anyway, that's all I want to say about this game, to be honest. Iquazu by Michael Feldgötter and Haba Games. I really liked it. I really recommend it to everybody. I strongly recommend it. It's beautiful, it's tense, and it's a really great experience. Thanks for watching. And if you want to see more reviews and so on, then please hit subscribe, and thank you for your support. Any comments you have, please leave them in the comments. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.